The 2023 election has been described by analysts as one of the most anticipated elections in the history of Nigeria. Information from INEC indicates that a lot of first-time voters registered this year. Walking around the streets and asking questions, you will realize that a lot of people who have not been voting in the past are anticipating and waiting anxiously for the 25th of February 2023 to cast their vote for the first time. With the new Electoral Act signed into law and with the introduction of the BVAS machine by INEC, both first-time voters and old voters will require some information to be able to exercise their franchise on the 25th of February 2023. My name is Paul Nwosu, and I am here with Dr. Roland Omolua of the Strategic Political Commission of the Catholic Charismatic Renewal of Nigeria, Catholic Diocese of Port Harcourt. He is also a member of the Catholic Social Forum and a representative of the Strategic Political Commission in the Calabar Ecclesiastical Province. He will be shedding light on some information that you need to know concerning the forthcoming general election. Dr. Roland, we have in the recent past heard of the Catholic Social Forum, which you are a member of. Please, can you expatiate on what is the Catholic Social Forum and where does the Strategic Political Commission come in?
Okay, thank you so very much for that question. The Catholic Social Forum is a unit under the Catholic Laity Council, and it was instituted in the early 90s by the Catholic Bishop Conference of Nigeria. And the essence of it, the goals are: one, to promote the social teachings of the church, and two, to advocate for good governance and the need why laity should participate in politics, be voted and be voted for. That is basically the reason why it was instituted.
Okay, we looking at Nigeria, the way the country is, with the current recent happenings in Nigeria, what do you think concerning the forthcoming election?
If you ask the question, the current situation in Nigeria, in fact, Nigerians are angry. Why are they angry? As is commonly said, an angry man is an angry man. Nigerians are very, very angry. Look at the current situation in the country. Talk about the sorry wave of unemployment, inflation, insecurity, banditry, the decline in the health sector, education sector, to measure just six. There are a lot of issues in the country. Talk more on the fuel scarcity, the cashless policy that just be introduced. People are angry. People are not happy. And that is the reason everyone is warming up to go out and massively vote out, possibly, the present administration. Nigerians are not just happy. Things are not working. People are tired. People are fed up with the current situation in the country. And based on this, I'm very sure, because Nigerians are happy, they are clamoring for a change. And that is why you commonly hear there is a slogan that let's change the change, let's change the change. So it is time to actually go out and vote. The change must be changed. And this it must be now. And we can't get it wrong at this point in time.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Now, look, considering your position as the chairman of the SPC, that is the Strategic Political Commission in the Catholic Church, would you say that, are you okay with the level of sensitization, mobilization of members of the CCRN, members of the Catholic faithful? Are you okay with the level of mobilization and sensitization concerning this forthcoming election so far?
I think to a large extent, the mobilization and sensitization are very encouraging. I've never seen in this country, I think this is the first time that the level of sensitization and mobilization is so massive, in that this should be the fifth time or cycle of election since 1999. In May 29, 1999, I think that was when democratic rule was introduced into Nigeria. For good 33 years, the military have been in government. And so, right from that time till now, we have had about 5 presidential elections. And I must tell you the truth that it has never been so good in terms of sensitization and mobilization. And people are really going on market, women, Christians, all believers, everybody is just rooting. We have to go and vote. Why? Because things are not just going the right direction. Everybody is angry with what is happening in the country.
Okay, thank you very much. INEC have mentioned in recent past that we have a lot of new voters, people who will be voting for the very first time. Now, these people will go to poll on 25th, just this coming Saturday. And what would they expect at the poll? What are the guidelines? What are the things that would guide them to make sure that their votes actually count, that they do not thumbprint wrongly? Because we understand that there are void votes.
Yes.
So please, let us into this, especially for those who will be voting for the very first time.
Okay, here are some of the guidelines for voters. The first one, every voter must be up to 18 years and above. So any voter that is not up to 18 years and above will not be permitted to vote. Whether you have a PVC or not, you will not vote on that day. Another second guideline is on that very day, election is going to commence. Accreditation and voting will start by 8:30 a.m. in the morning, and the elections will close by 2:30 in the afternoon. And every voter must be accredited before voting. And the system of voting this time around will be the use of beavers. And what is the meaning of that beavers? Beavers, B is bimodal, V is vote. Bimodal voters accreditation system. That is the meaning of the word beavers. And it's an electronic device that will be used to transmit result to the central body. And that this makes it different from the other elections we'll be having, because there'll be transmission of result. Or like before, things are done, you can snatch buses and you run away and you go. It's different this time around. And or like before, when you talk about the accreditation, it is always those that are accredited on that day that we vote. And now with the accreditation B, is either through fingerprint or using the beavers machine, fingerprint or face identification. And according to INEC, if you are tried on 3 occasions and you could not be identified, you will not be permitted to vote on that. Automatically, you will be disenfranchised on that day. 3 times each, you'll be tried. And if you could not be accredited, you will not vote on that day.
So no manual accreditation?
No manual accreditation at all. And we are also encouraging, one of the guidelines, nobody should come with any phone or intended to make some snaps, no picture, don't take any picture of anything on that day. And don't make a mark on the paper that will be given to you. Maybe the ballot paper, maybe to prove that yes, I voted for you, or you want to snap and show so you collect money at the end of the day. There will be no room for that on that day.
Wow. Okay, before I go to the some of the questions that we got from members of the public, okay. Let's finish with this.
Okay.
Now, looking at you think that Christians are well sensitized?
Yes, I can say emphatic yes that Christians.
I'm not talking about Catholics now.
No,
I'm talking about
Christians in general.
Yes.
Christians are well sensitized. Ask me how. Almost in every congregation, every church in Nigeria, I tell you, 50% of their homily or messages constitute issues that border on election. That is especially this time around. Sensitizing members on how they should vote, possibly they should vote for, looking at the current situation in the country. So, in terms of sensitization and mobilization, it has been massive. It has been wonderful. It's not just limited to the Catholic Church, all the churches, even the unbelievers who are not even Christians, everybody is rooting, let's go and vote. Let's change the change. That has been the slogan, like I said.
I think I like that slogan, let's change the change. That is changing us in the wrong direction. Okay, sir, your institution, the Catholic Social Forum, and the Strategic Commission,
Political commissions.
Political Commission. Do you have a role to play in this election? Does any of these institutions have a role to play?
Yes, I think basically the role we have to play as a commission is to sensitize and to mobilize members, to encourage the public on why they should vote or they need to vote, as well as the selection of a candidate to vote for. Because it's not going to be business as usual. And we thank God for the new electoral law, which has changed, the face of politics in Nigeria. So basically, our role as a commission is to sensitize, is to mobilize, is to direct and guide people on how they should vote so that they will not miss the way or the right thing to do.
So you are not a monitoring.
No, we are not, except one makes one available, to be a role as a polling unit agent or as agent. But for our commission, we are basically out for sensitization and mobilization.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you very much, sir. Let me drill a little bit.
Okay.
It is still in line with the election. Currently, we have Naira scarcity.
Okay.
Currently, there have been so many have been said about the currency, the redesign of the Naira, and the current scarcity of the Naira, the difficulty to get cash. And then, of course, coupled with the Naira scarcity is the fuel scarcity. Do you think this has anything to do with the election? But do you think it's going to affect the election on Saturday?
Well, there are so many speculations about the Naira scarcity and fuel scarcity. But as an economist, I want to look at it from another dimension. When you talk about the cashless economy, it's not a bad idea. Saner societies, they embark on monetary policies where there is need for it. So it's not a bad idea. It's just that Nigeria as a country is not matured for that yet. And the time is wrong. Why did I say it's not matured enough for it yet? Right now, you want to make transfers because that is the cashless policy of a thing. It will not go through for you. You can transfer money. Like today now, I'll be trying to make a transfer in how many hours? It's not just going. So there's no network. And so we are not ripe for a cashless economy. And secondly, when you look at it from the other angle also, you discover that, people have said there are speculations that it's targeted at some politicians. Good or fine, but the question I'll be asking that is begging for answer is, okay, if it's targeted at politicians, some of these politicians are the owner of these mega banks, you see. One call across can give them 100 bags of new money, Ghana must go of new money. So what are we talking about? It is to meet targeted at the less privileged, the poor, the indigent in the country. People are suffering. People are going through difficult times. Whether it is politically motivated or not, the timing is very, very wrong. It is very, very wrong. That's what Nigerians are going through at the moment. And you ask, how will this, influence or affect the forthcoming election? I think it's going to affect it in a great deal. In that, candidly speaking, I can tell you 90% to be conservative of Nigerians are very, very angry. I'm telling you. And that is why every person you talk to, you see that transfer of aggression. As they want to eat you up because everybody's angry. And people are patiently and curiously waiting for Saturday because of what is going on. Because they want to vote. They want to ensure that this system is changed. And let's see what happens after now.
Okay, now we know that some people will want to travel to their states, and now that there is no cash, you see, there are some people that their polling unit is not in River State, for instance.
Okay.
Maybe in Owerri, in Umuahia, in Benin, and they will need to travel on Friday. Like we have fuel scarcity, we have Naira shortage, Naira scarcity. Is it going to affect the election?
No two ways about it. It will affect the election. There is no two ways about it. Greatly. It's going to affect the election in a great deal. Right now, and that is why those who are speculating that this is politically motivated, to a larger extent, they are very correct. Because if you can't travel to vote, how are we going to achieve the objective? The objective is to change the change. How will this work out? So definitely it's going to serve as a pediment to those that want to travel. They will not be able to make it. There's no two ways about it. And like somebody told me, said, well, I intended to travel, I'm not going to. That is 1 out of a million. And I've not sampled opinions of people to know whether they, but one person told me, said, I can't make it again. I'm not going for it. I intended to go and vote so that we will be able to achieve our objective. But as it stands now, there's no cash and it's difficult. Okay, some person may have the money. It's not as if the money is not to do it's a problem. So it's going to affect the election. But we'll trust our God. We believe, come what may, at the end of the day, everything is going to work out very well, for sure.
Thank you for that hope. Yeah. Now, but there's another school of thought, Doctor, that says that the aim of this Naira scarcity is to make sure that politicians don't share money at the polling units. That's what they have been doing in the past. That this will prevent them from sharing money. Do you buy that school of thought?
Well, not really. Let me tell you the reason. I did mention it earlier that these politicians you are talking about, they are stakeholders. Some of them are the owners of these banks. So what are you talking about? I don't want to measure any candidate's name, you know. I wouldn't want to do that. I tell you, these are people, they pick up their phone and call a particular bank. I need 100, 200 Ghana must go of so money within a GV. You say, yeah, what are we talking about? So what are you saying is basically targeted at the poor. Maybe that was not the intention, but as it stands now, that is what he has translated.
The poor are the ones
suffering. That is just
very true, sir. Very true. So finally, before we let you go, I would like you to advise Christians concerning this forthcoming election.
Okay.
And if you can also, you can give us a little highlight on the new electoral law so that we will be properly guided. We have given us guidelines on how to vote.
Yes, okay.
Also, if you have the new electoral law, if you can also give us a little snapshot into it, we will appreciate it.
Okay, I think the very first thing about the new electoral law is, or like before, that money was not disbursed to ANEC on time. Then maybe 2 months to, but now it's a year to.
Wow.
360 days to the date of election. Money is given to ANEC. That is the new. And another law is candidate names must be submitted 180 days to the election. Before it has been 90 days.
Wow.
You see, there is a discrepancy. Then another, and an improvement as well. Another thing is we have 150 days to start electionary activities, that is campaigns and so on and so forth. Or like before, it's about I think 60 days. But now there is enough time. But every electionary or every campaign must be stopped 24 hours to the election. 24, it must be stopped. So that is another improvement. I think the greatest improvement which people actually, appreciated and people commended is the introduction of beavers. Is a very good development in that, where it's possible there could be loopholes for electoral malpractice, but it will be very, very minimal with the introduction of beavers. Or like before, like I said, what they look at is the number of registered voters.
Okay.
If the people that voted are more than the registered voters, that election will be cancelled, but it's no longer so. Now it is the number of accredited voters.
Oh.
Once the number outweighs the real voters, it will be cancelled. And so that is why people have that room to manipulate. Okay, if you have 1,000 registered voters and you are able to get 800, you are still within the. But now, if it's 1,000, it's only 100 is accredited. 101, that result will not count.
Wow.
So that is a very great improvement. And when it comes to the advice to Christians, I think in as much as we want to weather the political and economic storm in the country, we must not throw caution to the wind. What am I saying? Let's be very, very careful as Christians. Bible says we will give account of whatsoever we say on the day of judgment. So we should embark on issue-based politics. We should not attack individuals. They are still our brothers. And we should learn to respect all candidates. All of them are eminently qualified to contest, in as much as the law of Nigeria does not disqualify them. But there are things we watch out for as Christians, especially now. We can't keep quiet about it. We are looking for that candidate that has the character, the capacity, and the competence. That candidate that is dynamic and is younger. And like the Bible says, as much as we are alive, that should be Galatians chapter 6 verse 10. We should do good to everybody, especially those who are of our household. And this candidate I'm talking about is of our household. So let's come out massive to vote. Catholics in Nigeria are about 17 million. If we can get 1/3 of this, now about 23. The last election was won with about 50.1 million. So what are we talking about? If we have 1/3 of Catholics coming out massively to vote, then we are sure of victory. And it's going to be a landslide victory. So I encourage Christians, yes, we know things are not working and everybody's angry. I encourage we should not attack any person. We should not talk about people. We should not run down people with our mouth because we are still Christians. Unbelievers may do that, but we are Christians. But let's sell our candidate to the world. Let's tell them the reasons why we should vote for our candidate. And if we do this, I tell you, everybody will be happy in this country. So I want to say this as a party shot, that for us Nigerians, we should come out massive on Saturday. I've told my wife already, we're moving and we will go. We must vote. There is no cause for alarm. Nothing is going to happen. We have prayed enough. Faith without work is dead. This is not time for prayer. We have prayed enough. Let us do the work now. Let's go out and vote. And vote that leader we have been praying, we have been waiting on God for. I tell you, God knows the best and He's going to reward us for our effort. Everything is in the hands of God. It's unlimited God, it's omniscient God. He knows the end from the beginning. So we believe at the end of the day, we will celebrate.
You have heard it. At the end of the day, we will celebrate. Let's go out and vote. You heard it from Dr. Roland Omolua, the chairman, Strategic Political Commission of the CCRN Port Harcourt Diocese. He is also the one representing the diocese in the Calabar Ecclesiastical Province. God bless you, sir. And thank you for granting us this time.